Very good morning to all of you. So now we are going to see the poem called Life. Okay, it's a memory poem in English. Okay, the first poem, it's a memoriter. The memory poem called Life. It is written by the poet Henry Van Dyke. He is an American poet. So in this poem, he describes about how a life should be lived. So here he experienced his real life. So how he lived his life, how he wanted to live his life, here he described. Okay, now we are going to see the poem Life. Actually, the life poem is a sonnet. It is a sonnet. Sonnet means it is an Italian term. The word sonetto, it is derived from the word sonetto. So sonetto, it is derived from, that sonnet is derived from the term sonetto, which means a little song or small lyric. So the sonnet means it must have only 14 lines. Here, 14 lines poem only. It is derived into, it is in two types, that is 8 plus 6, octave and sestet. So 8 lines are called octave, 6 lines are called sestet. So it is written in iambic pentameter rhyme. What is meant by iambic pentameter? That means, so each line of the poem must have 10 syllables, You see that poetic lines, let me live my life from year to year. So here you see, so the first line must have 10 syllables. Likewise, the whole poem, all the lines of the poem must have 10 syllables. And then the second beat, that means the second word of that line should be stressed one, That is called what a sonnet, iambic pentameter. So now we are going to see the lines one by one. So you see that the first line, let me live my life from year to year. So the poet says, let me, leave me to live my life from year to year, every year. How he wanted to live every year his life? That is with forward face and unreluctant soul. So what type of life? The forward face. That means he is ready to face the problems and difficulties in that life. So that is what he says, forward face. He is a forward man. So it means he wants to face the challenges in his life, that is difficulties in his life, and unreluctant soul. That means, so his inner heart, inner soul will be willing one. That is unreluctant means willing soul. So that means the soul will be willing to do anything. That is called with forward face and unreluctant soul. The third line, not hurrying to, not turning from the goal. The third line, he says, not hurrying to. He doesn't want to live his life as a hurried one. So he doesn't want to live his life as a hurried one. He wants to live a casual life. He wants to live a casual life, a free life. He doesn't want to do anything in a fast way. And then not turning from the goal. He doesn't want to turn away from his goal. Once if he sets the goal, he is always following the goal. He is always going towards the goal. He is not deviating from the goal. That is what he says, not turning from the goal. Next line, not mourning for the things that disappear. So what is meaning by the word mourning? Mourning means mourn. Mourn means sad. Okay, so he doesn't want to be sad for the things which disappear in the dim past. So not mourning for the things that disappear in the dim past. He is not worried about the things which he lost in that dim past. That means the past life. So here in the dim past, nor holding back in fear, nor holding back in fear from what the future wails. That means he doesn't hold fear in his heart for the future expectation. That means he has no future expectations, so that he has no fear in his heart. That means not holding back in fear from what the future will. That means he has no future expectation. What the future wills means hide. What the future hide for us. That means he has no fear. He doesn't hold fear in his heart because he has no future expectations. But with the whole and happy heart. So if he has no what future expectation means, our heart will be happy. So he has no future expectation, so that he has a whole heart and happy heart. But with the whole. So he filled with a fulfilled man and a happy heart. His heart is very happy. That pays its toll. That means, once we live the life, we have to pay for the life. That means we have to we have to do our duty. What is our duty? We have to work every day. That means that is called that pays its toll. That pays its toll means we have to work every day. We have to do our regular works every day. If you do like that, to youth or age, it may be young people or aged people. So to youth or age and travels on which year. So if we live such a happiest life means, it may be youth or aged people, whoever it may be, and travels on which year. So our life will travel towards the cheerful. That means cheer means happiness. So that at last what he says, to youth or age. So if we live our life happily means, whatever it may be aged people or youth people, whoever it may be, our life will automatically turns towards the happiest one. So this is called octave. So here the poet uses some literary devices in this poem. Let me see that. So in this line, you see, yes, here, in the dim past, this line, in the dim past, nor holding back in fear. In this line, the poet used the literary term called a metaphor. What does mean by metaphor? Metaphor means an indirect comparison of the things. Here, what a metaphor here. Here, dim past. Here the poet talks about the past life. So how his past life? His past life was dim. That means dark. So the past life is compared to the dark one. It is a dim past means the past life was very dark. So that here in this line, in the dim past nor holding back in fear, here the poet uses the literary device called metaphor. The next line you see, from what the future wails but with the whole. In this line the poet uses personification. What does it mean by personification? Personification means that non-living things will be given with human attributes. Here you see, from what the future wails in this line. So the word future wails, here it talks about the future hidden things, the future expectations. So that it talks about the future wails means the future what is hidden for us. So that here he uses the literary term called personification. Personification he used in this line. Next, the last line of the octave, to youth or age and travels on which year. In this line, the poet uses that literary devices called oxymoron. What does it mean by oxymoron? Oxymoron means two contradictory things are talking about. That means, for example, youth and age. That means two opposite words. For example, youth means what is the opposite? Age. So the two contradictory things are talking about in a line, so that it is called a oxymoron. Okay, so we have seen the first part, that is the octave part, the octave here, the sestet remaining, the remaining part, that means sestet will be continued in the next session. Thank you very much, dear. Thank you very much.